Hello, good afternoon. My name's Evelyn. I just wanted to switch on the camera and start recording and talking about my thoughts. I feel like life right now for me is in between moments. You know, the little fork in the road? I feel like I am right here. I don't know which way to go. This is my first video on the new channel. I used to have a different channel. Thought it would be a good idea to just restart from the beginning because I'm someone who like changes every like 2 years. I'm a completely different person, personality wise, and like I've changed things like my style, I've changed my goals, I've changed the way I speak, the way I interact with people. I feel like I'm more extroverted now than before. I am more outgoing. I'm more independent. I'm a person. I've grown up a bit. I don't rely on other people as much. So I've changed a lot over the last 2 years. And the last time I posted a YouTube video, I think I had a different hairstyle, I had a different mannerism. What I was doing was different. I was in uni. I was doing like research, doing lab stuff. For some background context, I am a doctor now. I've started being a doctor since August, so it's been 4 months. I was a medical student in uni. I'm now living in a different city. Right now I'm back at home, so this is the setting now. But I've just got so many changes in my life, and I just feel like I needed to start recording my thoughts and just sharing to the world what I'm going through, so that, you know, if you guys have anything to suggest to me, that would be good, or just like connecting to other people who are going through the same things. I think every 2 years when I have these sorts of changes, I start going through this sort of like existential crisis moment, or like a moment where I just don't know what I'm doing. I just feel like I have so many things I want to do with my life that I'm just like confused, and then I try different things, nothing sticks, and then I give up easily. I'm like low-key a lazy person as well, so I don't like try the full extent of what I want to do, and then I give up. I am a doctor. Being a doctor, you're very like, you know, you're on a set path. You know where you're going. Everyone else is just going on the same path, by the way. And you're just like, you know, you're a junior doctor, and then you like get a little bit more senior, you learn a bit more, you go into a specialty, you train for however many years, and you become a consultant doctor, which is like the highest level of a doctor. And that's the path where everyone goes. In the UK, you get thrown to anywhere. You can be anywhere in the country, depending on whether you are lucky or whether you get into a program in the area location that you want to be in. I'm not there yet. I was just randomly assigned to like Nottingham, which is where I work. Yeah, I'm there for 2 years now, and then I didn't choose this path. It's not bad. Like, I really do enjoy my job. I'm with people and with friends that are really nice, and I enjoy working. Like, it's a challenge, and you know, it's very like left-brained in the way that you have to remember a lot of things, you problem solve, etc. However, I'm like a really creative person at heart. I love anything creative. I used to love making YouTube videos. I like graphic design. I like just like art in general. I like music. I used to make a lot of songs. I'm just a very like creative person, and I don't like keeping myself in a box. But what I'm doing right now, it's so busy. Life is so busy that I can't really take time to do other stuff. I've been working on things on the side. Like right now I'm trying to create like a little app relating to health and wellness, just like by myself. But you know, it's so hard to keep going on things outside of work when you don't have a lot of time outside of work. But the other thing is actually your dream. Like the main full-time job isn't actually the dream. And it just feels really stuck. But then you don't know if you're able to work on the other thing to the extent where you can, you know, be successful in that other thing. So I'm like, okay, let's just stick with medicine. Let's stick with being a doctor. Let's stick with doing like research and get myself up this ladder that I talked about earlier. That's the safest route. Not that that's safe anyway, it's still really competitive, but that is the predetermined route that I felt like I was supposed to go down. Everyone has finished uni ages ago compared to me, because my course was 5-6 years. I did 6 years for medicine and did an extra course. And so a lot of people started making money a lot earlier, and I feel behind in life. I feel like I could have started making money a lot sooner. I feel like I could have matured a lot quicker. I could have started working on my dreams a lot faster. And when you scroll through like social media, when you scroll through YouTube, you see a lot of people like really maxing out their dreams and their careers. You see people traveling the world, you see people making loads and tons of money at a young age. And there's a point when I was really lost, like a year or a few months ago, where I just kept watching these things like, oh, how to make $1 million by 30, you know, those kind of videos. And I was like, okay, I gotta make $1 million by 30. But that's not really realistic. I'm looking at like the minuscule amounts of people in the world that made it there. Like they could have had family support them. They could have known people. They were probably at like the right place at the right time. Not everyone can be that privileged. And obviously I am, you know, comfortable, but I'm nowhere near going to get $1 million by 30. So like I've learned that it's about, I should only be comparing myself to myself or my family or my background. I shouldn't be comparing to other people who are like, you know, way up there in like life. That's one thing. The other thing is you always get people on the internet saying like, you should be really maxing out on your productivity today. You gotta wake up at 5 a.m. You should be doing loads of stuff. Like you should be really like optimizing like every single aspect of your life. After work, you have the 5 to 9 period that you should be like using to, you know, like my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5, that sort of video. It's not entirely realistic either because you're just tired after work. And sometimes work is so stressful, at least for in my job, I just don't, it's not really sustainable to always have a 5 to 9. And so I've started realizing that I need to be grateful. I need to be content with what I have and work from there. Work from what I am able to do rather than work from the goal. Because I've always been told, I mean, sometimes I join workshops where we set goals. The way to make things happen in your life was to set a really like far goal and then kind of like work backwards. So like, okay, my 5-year plan is this. And then my 1-year plan is this. Okay, then that means each quarter I have to be doing this. That means each month I have to be doing this. I have to meet these specific like milestones at certain months of the year. I used to do that. And I just realized that, I mean, it's really helpful for you to map out what's realistic and what you need to be doing at a certain point in time. But it just, when you're hit by so many things in life, it's really difficult to just be like, okay, I have to be doing this, but I just don't feel like it. Or like, I'm too tired. Or I have no energy. Or I'm depressed, you know? There's so many factors in life. And so sometimes it's good to set like a far goal, but then think of where you are at in life. Think of what happens during this year, for example. When in the beginning of the year, I set loads of goals. You know, your January 1st plan for the rest of the year, your 2025 goals. I kind of forgot that in August I will start my job and that I will get way busier. I thought I would be able to do work on a lot after work and on the weekends, but August and September was like getting to know friends. It was getting to know myself and my routines around the job. And I have night shifts, I have long days, so sometimes I have to work in the night instead of the daytime. It messes your schedule up, and then you have to have a social life because I'm moving to a new city. So then that's on pause for 2 months, and then it's difficult. It requires grace for yourself to be like, it's okay that I'm not making my goals. I think another part of it is growing up. I'm 24 now, and I used to have a lot of weight on how others perceived me. It doesn't actually matter. Wanting to make a social media was one of my goals, but clearly I did not, you know, go through with it, even though I've tried like a couple times. But a lot of it was just caring about how the others perceive me, and now I don't care anymore. So that's one thing that has helped. And I think that just comes with growing up, and also comes with like exposure, you know, exposure therapy, exposure. If you expose yourself to more uncomfortable situations, the more you get used to it. And the more you put things out and practice just speaking your words, the more you will get used to it and not care as much of how others perceive you, which is why I'm recording this video. I'm just like freestyling it, sort of. I have a little outline on my laptop, but didn't really plan what I'm saying. So the last point I had was what I'm doing right now to solve these problems. So what was my problem again? Okay, let's start from the beginning. My problem was I feel like I'm on a standstill. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't have a lot of time. I have stress in my life, which is like work. But I want to meet a goal that is outside of work. I want to be creative. I want to create something that is related to my work. So like health and wellness sort of thing. But I want to, in the future own my own business relating to health and wellness. What I'm doing right now to solve this problem of feeling like I'm in a standstill and not actually like making steps and progress towards my goal is, first of all, it's looking into myself. Why am I feeling this way? I started journaling a lot more, and I just write of like my thoughts. Days where I'm down, I write why I'm down, and that really helps me to decompress and let things go, especially if I'm not speaking to people about my problems. The writing your journal really does help you to release all of that stress, and then you can move on to other things in life, or not, but helps you to document what you're going through. Also, like, accept that you are in a certain place in life. Secondly, I'm trying to document my life. I feel like to make progress, you have to have sort of marks in your life, like milestones, but you can't just look in the future, you have to look at the past. What are the patterns I've been making? For example, I'm always more productive when I'm like happy and I am, in a good place in life. For example, I have good sleep, I have good exercise, I have good people around me. That's when I'm the most productive. Being able to like document things, not just in the journal, but also like I'll take pictures, I'll take a lot like videos. Documenting my life actually helps me to re-spark my creativity. There was a period where when I started working that I just, everyone around you when at work are similar to you, especially in my field. We're all just like medicine nerds. It's really important for me to find my creativity from within, not just from like social media, not just from like looking at Pinterest, but also not be afraid to create. Give myself space to do things like a little doodle or like create a video, do my app. Creativity is such an important part of finding the way you can move towards your own goals rather than just follow someone else's. I'm trying to do things for the sake of it rather than for an end goal. I realized that there was a point in my life where I was like, I really need to start like doing something with my life so that I can make money. So that I can make that $1 million at 30. Having money be an end goal, or like a status or financial freedom as your end goal, isn't actually that productive. I know a lot of people will say, okay, my end goal is to be financially free, which is actually my end goal too. But thinking of that as the reason why you're doing things is not productive, at least for me. It's actually like, it makes me feel really down if I think too much about the fact that I am nowhere close. It does help me to guide decisions. Like, for example, I do think of like in a few years I need to be starting to like buy a house, or like, I need to save up how much. Right now, right here, all I can do is do the baby steps, right? And doing things like, making decisions like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. and before work I'm going to be, stretching, doing some exercise. And then right after that, I'm going to sit down and work on my project. Let's say I want to do that. Having the end goal of like, okay, I need to make $1 million by 30 doesn't really help me to do the steps I need to be doing today. I should be doing it in a way that fulfills me every day. A lot of people say enjoying things really helps to get you to actually do it and be productive. I used to think that I wanted to create social media or a YouTube channel to get followers and get likes or make money and get really famous. That was me as a teenager. That was me a few years back. But I think people who are successful, I'm sure a lot of people actually enjoy the process of it. And I'm finding myself, like, I do enjoy the process of it, but I'm finding it, I used to find it difficult to find that part of me that loves making videos, that loves like being creative with like the media and the things I'm putting out, the content itself. And so I'm trying to refine that in myself. And that's why I'm just like turning the video on and just bubbling. Last thing is, don't be too harsh on yourself. I have been very harsh on myself in the past. When you're harsh on yourself, that every day you're not moving towards your goals, or every day you're behind, it adds like a layer of guilt, self-doubt, and low self-esteem underneath everything you do. And you just feel like you're not where you are at. And I feel like this is what causes the standstill. And that's been my life for the last few years. I think it's a process to prove to yourself that you can do things, because then you can tell yourself, actually, I can. And it helps you to keep going forward. So anyway, this has been a little bit of a rant, and it's not really very organized of a video, but I just wanted to talk about the things I've been going through. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-record this if it's really bad, but I'm gonna see and listen to what I've been yapping about. Anyway, thanks for listening.